'Cause that's the way things happen on the Polar Depress.
All aboard!
Choo-choo!
Well, we got more train. Can you believe we got more train in the Polar Express movie?
We got so much more train, and it's
Ah.
so magical.
We opened the advent calendar and we got more kids in mortal peril
We
on
got
an
a runaway
uncontrolled train.
again. We got more runaway train.
Yeah.
The
I feel
caboose
like
is loose.
I feel like the other kids who have already gotten off the train and are filed in single file by birthday or whatever said they don't really know the way things happen on the Polar Express as much as they like to sing about it. These three kids, they know the way things happen on the Polar Express.
Again, we didn't have the reaction as the kids were being flung around in the kid car during the initial runaway train. What was the reaction as soon as this caboose just starts hurtling backwards away from them?
I mean, I think they're already walking towards the procession towards the Santa.
But they're maybe 30 feet from it when this thing starts rolling back and making clanging runaway noise down this massive incline that was behind them.
I imagine conductor Hanks, like, in an effort to, not disappoint the big man, just goes, "No, this way, children, eyes forward.
Don't look back.
Yeah, I mean, he was 5 minutes
Your
ahead of
attention
time,
is
so
non-transferable."
Right.
Yeah. It's just all action horror film. This little like tour through the wrapping hall, the elf living spaces and working spaces. Like this is obviously where this is their town.
Several broken records, like literally a record skipping. Like we're also trapped in this loop.
As soon as you look at it, so it's like perfectly timed for the creepiness. The one single one going with the one song filling.
Just the heat of your observation makes it start skipping.
Just a record, just a single record playing in just the wrapping paper hall, but filling the entire area.
Well, it was a room full of turntables and each one had a little sign on it for like the wrapping hall and the reindeer stables and like whatever. So there's like one elf that is just the disc jockey for the whole of the North Pole, I guess.
That just decided to leave that one on as they all filed out and
we gotta have music on in the empty rooms also, because then what if the bricks get bored?
Jotted off to Elf Springer.
Yeah.
Elf Springer, what, Elf Summer? Elf Summer?
I like Elf Springer, yeah.
Whatever sacrifice is about to happen to Santa in the main square.
As soon as he clears the Arctic Circle, the Northern Lights start going off, and
like it's not even a cheery Christmas song playing. It's not like it's not even happy work music. It's the most somber, sort of reflective, setting a horror tone song.
Considering like this is the biggest day of their year, yeah. I mean, when Santa flies away, they switch it to Marvin Gaye, I'm sure.
And there's something creepy about anytime you have a highly spatially echoey record playing with intense record vinyl sounds.
It's very BioShock. That's the vibe I get from it.
Yes.
Right? Sort of cavernous empty spaces with like old-timey radio playing.
In corridors or wrapping halls, you should not be running down or exploring.
I mean, there's not a BioShock element to how the North Pole's laid out, which is, I don't know that that's really an original to the book shows a lot of sort of brick buildings and kind of archways and stuff that we see, but it looks more like Boston. It doesn't look like BioShock.
Doesn't BioShock have like a lot of different areas that are?
I think it depends on which BioShock we're talking.
But like there's different. So maybe this is like the BioShock Polar edition, where this is like the little. This is the abandoned
town. Yeah.
Started in the Arctic Circle by a man who decided he was Santa Claus and would rule over this town.
And all of his elves walked out because of labor violations. They unionized.
Would send his conductor out to collect children to repopulate and
to shake down all the houses that don't believe. That's as good an explanation as any. Doses up their hot chocolate so they're all amped up to work.
Yeah, that's it starts the process of them being able to, walk in their lines to their Santa meeting at the end without noticing a runaway caboose.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Tom Hanks' conductor is yelling at Hero Boy and Hero Girl to like send a message to the other kids. They're isolated, like they're on top of the train or in the engine of the train.
And also, why Hero Boy suddenly is having doubts as he's just, ridden a magical train through a wondrous landscape, through near-death experiences to arrive in the Arctic Circle, which has a Christmas town?
I imagine in some ham-fisted way, like, I think about, it all comes back to Cast 2019 or Charlie Brown for me. But like, Tom Hooper thought when he was making Cast 2019 that all of these cats represent the 7 deadly sins. And he kind of explains like, well, Rum Tum Tugger represents vanity. And I'm sure on some level, I don't know how many brain cells Robert Zemeckis is actually working with. But like, I could imagine like Mandark is sort of the skeptic, and then the poor boy represents doubt, and the hero girl represents belief, and our hero child is torn between these two. But I think that is giving this movie too much credit.
Yeah, and he starts off the film like actively believing in something because he's wanting to catch it out. Like, he does believe there's a Santa that shows up when you hear the bell. And so it's coming from a place of, I want to believe. Like, he's not a skeptic of this thing. It's just like, oh, I just want to see it with my own eyes now, this thing that I believed in for all these years.
Yeah. The facts don't line up. I got to see this for myself. Yeah, he's clearly been investigating this question of, is there a Santa?
It's almost like the Polar Express is punishing you for your belief. Like, oh, you won again. We're going back to this whole, I caught you with a cigarette. We're going to make you smoke the whole car.
We're going to make you smoke the whole Santa. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, then I guess in that way, then misery loves company. And maybe that's why they're forcing this lonely poor boy to join them, of like, you got to see this too. If I got to ride the Christmas train and drink the hot chocolate and get yelled at by the man, then so do you.
Yeah. This is like Stephen King's Polar Express.
Yeah.
This feels like the group of kids and the scenario that Stephen King would set up. Like, you find out that the Arctic Circle is actually in Maine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the book supposedly takes place in like Michigan somewhere. So then most of that driving of the train was through Canada by that metric.
One of the producers on this film is Castle Rock, which was the production company that was started to make Stand By Me. And Castle Rock being the iconic town in all of the Stephen King stuff. So this is Stephen King's Polar Express.
Yeah. And these are unsupervised children, maybe potentially finding a dead body. That also
if
lines
anyone watched it and thought, hey, I wonder if they're going to do a Christmas special, this is the movie for you. If you want the holiday special that goes with it. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think any double feature, I mean, Snowpiercer versus Polar Express, I think would be solid.
There's no actual holiday movie that I would pair this with. It's all what are disturbing, like this in Brazil. This and like what are dystopian, weird, creepy films.
Brazil's a great Christmas movie.
Holiday theme that you could pair this with.
I mean, Cats came out around Christmas, so I count it as a Christmas movie, and it's in the same it's the uncanny London of the same world, I think.
And there's a couple of bells jingling at some point in it.
Somebody gets a wish granted. Yeah. J-Hud goes up that balloon, we assume, to the North Pole. We can't really rule it out.
And James Corden has a Christmas feast.
I have my wish fulfilled of, James Corden embarrassing himself.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I pulled out of the advent calendar today, is that happy memory.
Yeah. So choo-choo, everybody.
Choo-choo.
Onward.
Better luck tomorrow.
I hope.
'Cause that's the